Alright, where to start? I just guess I'll start like this. Good morning, folks. It's 7:10 a.m. here in Liverpool, England, on the third month, 8th day, 2026. And we're looking at here is some weather modification going on via molecular perturbations of the atmosphere from the NEXRAD radars located here that I will prove are going on over in Brisbane. Yeah, I said prove. I've got some correlating coordinates here, like 1, 2, 3, and go along with the old 1, 2, and this one here I didn't say was going on. And I definitely got these two radars here just absolutely blasting. And I might just go straight to that. I also picked up a Haarp blast that was going on. And I've got that isolated on a second screen. And it's coming from over here in Alaska. And you can even see signs of it in the clouds. And so I may just start with that. I don't know, it's hard to tell what to start with. Look at the half sine wave of this, the peak in the ramp up here. And Haarp is located right about where I'm pointing over here, alright? And it is absolutely fried. And we also picked up another device. It's just, this is a Hawaii right here. That's right here. And it's also added perturbations. And I'm suspecting that this is actually the TRB. The SBX, excuse me, TRB is different. That's a plane. SBX sea-based radar. I'm talking about this device right here. And I'm just going to use images, because if I play any of these things here, it's got this really massive radar that you can see how it can be cocked and aimed on pivot points. It's got one on that side, one on the other. That's the back side of that, excuse me. And this is a pivoting front. And I used to have some pictures of the actual insides of the SBX. And this is the dish actually here, big phased array. And you'll have defense stuff here and other various devices. When it's right now, things are on high alert. This is the inside of if you were standing in the dome on the SBX, and I've seen its signature before. It's known locations and what radar signature. Hello, you got to see inside there. You could answer a lot of questions for me. And so this is the big Fry Daddy right here, and the radar signature that it gives off is this one. I'm going to back up just to see here. And we'll go with this event completely. So it's going to take me a little bit to keep this in frame. So its initial firing of Haarp itself occurred at 2100 hours on the 7th day, 3rd month, 2026. I'm expecting a lot of EMF because there's a war run, and they're going to keep this atmosphere well perturbed, very sensitive. So any missile or anything flying through it will be picked up. So I'm going to go over the signature. I picked up on it because I started seeing a plasmonic over here going white, and I see one off the coast of Africa doing the same thing. And so I started doing my, what's in the middle of it. And it turns out it was that and that. So I'll map that out for you and show you what it did to the clouds, because it's kind of interesting, the science of this. So let's get it to what's going on. Where's the last page? Here we go. Now, this is what the SBX and Haarp has done. Yes, we pull out good old Mr. Squiggles. We'll do the squiggles for you. Squiggles, squiggles, yes indeed. Squiggles tells the truth to me. Squiggle wiggles. Let's use white. That seems to stand out pretty good, right? So I'm mapping out the beams themselves. We're just triangulating. I don't know what just happened with that. So that there, this here is like that, and like this. Here's this reverse waveform. It's almost like they did an 11th harmonic. You have to be careful about causing quakes with this, right? They went like that, and it caused huge perturbations. So this one here adds to the analog waveform of that one there, because that's a ground-based radar, and I'll show you what they look like. And Haarp looks like this. As we zoom across the planet. There's a few devices up here that need mentioning. All right. One is this one here. Is this antenna field? This is not Haarp. This is a super darn in an antenna field, and this bears noting. You have to know about this one. Let's see if we can let this clear up a moment, and your screens might too. I'd ask you to try to refrain from putting all your likes and hearts and all this kind of stuff, because it ties up bandwidth. You're just seeing the tickles of the radar array right there. If I go back in time, because this has been here a long time, you see it there. Somebody must have cut the line. See it right here, these antennas. This thing's been here a long time, and this is a big, what I call the boost base. So I'll go back up to the latest image from 924 and zoom in on this super darn for you, this array, and you just see some of the shadows of the antennas here. It's the back row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here's the top row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a big array, this one here. Picks up quite a lot. And they got this antenna field right here. Listening posts, you know. We're going to send you to a listening post in Alaska. They would always say, like a punishment for somebody in the Army. Well, this is that listening post in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, this is where they send you. Yeah, you know, we got to laugh, don't we? And Harpy's over here. And just to stay on top there. Zooming back out. Whoa. And it's in Gankona as well. And it's right here. And this is Haarp. It's the only device on the planet you can call Haarp. But it's this type of array. I wonder if things are blurred now because of the warp. You know, I don't want to do sensitive areas. See the antenna? And its antenna looks like this on the top of them. And you might can see the shadows of them. I'll show you. There's a better way for me to do this. If I put pictures on, we can click somebody would have took photographs here. And if you do this sometimes around a planet, you can pick up lots of interesting stuff. And I'll get back to your radar, because you got quite a few storms out. I'm expecting, like some places, to get over 1/3 of a meter in the next 36 hours up in Queensland. So you might want to hang in for that. And let's see. We do have a picture here, labias and genitals. Whammo. And here's a great shot. Let me see if we can copy this. Let's just open it. Opening up the window of the windows. It doesn't let me say save image as, but you can see the types of antennas it has on it. I know how to save it. Wow, fucking high. Yeah, this is it. Well, if you can see these on the top, you got like these wires here. And you got the main mast of the antenna, and you know the wire there to hold these in place. And then you have to have them on the bottom a bit as well, because it gets windy there. Those have to stay fairly stationary. Your power control box is here, those things that you were seeing on the map, all the way into the distance here, you know, to that way big square array. And so those don't move. You're not bending those to change where it aims. You modulate the signal, or you change how it broadcasts. Like that kind of hertz might go there. That hertz might go like that, and they change the signal. That one might go that way. That might go that way. And as it hits the atmosphere, the molecules vibrate until it heats it up, and then the signal actually will bounce off in a different direction. And let me go where you can see it. A nice friendly cover there. Nice and friendly. So they can bounce it off like the sky up here and then down across the horizon, 3,500 miles away. So this thing has a reach of about, they advertise reach is 5,500, but the effects of the signal that is it echoes around the ionosphere, you know, like that. They got the waves here going around, and as the signal goes around the planet, they can get quite the effects. And it can hit a place here that can then rebroadcast the same signal. You know, like a repeater, and amps it back up, the strength of the signal. And as they overlap, it can get quite the effect on these things that are very, very, very visible when you look at them on the radar itself. Screenshots never hurt. How you do a screenshot? You hold down the Windows button and you hit print screen at the same time. And there's other ways as well, but that's the way I'm doing it. So we just turned the maps off. Oh, that was not the smartest thing to do, because I plan on showing you the radars as well over at eyes, so I'm going to pull that back up. So that's why I suspect that it's the sea-based radar, and that is because of the signatures I'm seeing out there. It's going to cause earthquakes as well. So let me get back to Brisbane over here. Hi, U3 right here. So let me close this off. So I often use pictures that people have posted. And we'll go ahead and put you down. That's a Haarp signature right there. It does make things seismically active, and I think what will trigger most will be the volcanism over here in the Hawaiian Islands. I wouldn't be surprised if Kilauea doesn't fountain, or that rift over there, that one neighborhood don't open up. Okay, so, and it's caused quite the ripples in the atmosphere. The waveforms have. You see the reverb, what it's done? And those reverb itself also helps control the weather. And that's what we're involved with right now, as we have a problem with the controlling of the weather going on here in Australia. So here I've got, and I think what I'm going to do is open up a second window here with, so bear with me a second, with your actual cloud images on it, because I've just got something to show you. So that's going to be, where is it? Zoom Earth. If you're expecting like a normal weather show with a girl with her bum sticking out, big titties pointing at a board, you could go on TV and hear the lies of the climate change sellers of that fund. And I'm going to show you weather modification, which is denied, but it's sold openly. It is. You can buy sunny days, rainy days. There's Aqueous was one of them. There's Australian companies that for weather modification that you can hire to make a sunny day for your wedding, let's say. Remember, you're making it a sunny day for somebody else. And you might be parching out the garden in the same town as somebody who needs it. So I just don't agree with playing God. So we're going to go ahead and roll here some of the satellite images, show you the extent. It's very large, this system here. And there's a lot of very obvious geoscience here going on. It's taking a moment to load, because I have it loaded somewhere else. I'm going to need it on this screen, because I'm going to do a side-by-side with the radar image itself, and to show you that the lines coming from the radar are not a fucking glitch. Excuse me, my Tourette's showing up. It's just not a glitch, because it has an actual effect on the cloud mesh themselves. So let's get into the areas I want the most, which is here, and then I want long reach. It might be quicker for me to load this different. Let's let this go. So have a soda pop, or whatever bevy you have, a bevy. I've been in this guy slam long enough now, I just called it a bevy. Have you a Tenny? Ooh, Maroochydore, the big clouds of chem going over the top east. A really nasty storms. You can hardly see the storm front line itself. Hardly, but they hit it. So let's zoom in on Brizzy, and let's go right to the gilt. Because we don't show the gilt written all over the face of Mother Earth, and nobody will. Isn't that right? Oh, this will be the best image right here. Right, here's your current radar. Let's go here, and it would pick up the windy one from 1 hour and 10 minutes ago. That's got to be more than that now. Hang on a moment. That'll work. I want it with that one on it. An hour and 10 minutes ago, I had a really good shot of the other one. I believe it's Stapleton. Or Marburg is Fannin. Right. First one I'm going to mark is this one. Right? And then I'm going to put it side by side. And here we go. Mr. Squiggles says this. Shall we go with red? Oops. We don't want to crop nothing. First I have to use my hands. Isn't that fun? Right, straight line time. I hadn't even looked to see if this is running yet. I hope it is. So here we go. Longwood, how you doing? That's a bit thick. It's too thick. It's too thick. Stop. That's nice and thin. There's the too thin. Well, you can get a programmer and do this yourself. Where all I'm doing is taking lines on a map now. I'm not going to mark them all. You'll get the idea. I just want to see where do they crisscross and keep it accurate. Right? All these lines you're going to see are intersecting known radar stations. Right? Would you agree with this? You save me a lot of finished drawings. All these are going to have an effect on the weather. Right? They'll have this effect, actually. Things coming in this way now meet a path of resistance. Let me go back with that. Path of resistance is those lines I just put up there. So these things here stall out. The rain don't stop. It just stalls out a bit. And when it hits the first lines, usually where it drops a lot of condensate. So I'm expecting some really fair totals over here. These mountain areas in here, and what's up there, Mulaney and all that in there, and Caboolture and that. It's going to drop some fair totals. It's also going to cause quite the lightning show in here, like in there and such like that. These rivers are going to run, so you don't want to be camping down there. And these are known radar stations, you know. And let me smallen this a bit and pull up the map itself. So what I'm going to do now is do this. Okay, and do a side-by-side comparison. Right, so we put this one up with that, and that one. Oops. Now we gotta Give me a moment. Here we go. My known radar stations, right? Of these, what I pulled up. Now let me try it again. That's it. Snipping tool. And the map. There we go. That's what I want. Right. We have 3 known radar stations. You have one here, right? See if I can get this right. And you have one here. See right there? So that one here, near the highway, over here in the woods, is a radar station, and if it's helping to modify the weather, it's also a weather machine. Don't call it anything but that. See that big titty up there? It looks like a golf ball. In my dreams, like the big, huge, big Bertha driver smacks that fucker off into the sea, and I hear a giant floor. But you know, we have dreams that are really just dreams. You know, I have a dream. If I was good enough at graphics, and this other station here is this one here. You know, Lawwood, see the saying, Lawwood. And so this is proof positive. And when I show you this other one, with it modified on the clouds itself, if I'm lucky, I'll get this, I'll screenshot this one, and I'll be able to put it side by side with the cloud itself. See, another one of those right there. Another one of those things, right? The Death Star. Yeah, fully operational weather machines, right? So let's reduce that. Show this. This is going to take, that's the Haarp signature, what it did in the clouds. So briefly, I'll show that. That big pulse wave that was occurring off on Haarp did this. I have quite a few things pulled up. Yes, quite a few things. Come on. Look at the waveform. Yeah. Here. There's your pulse wave from Haarp. In those antenna fields, the other one's right in the center. So it's very possible that that's a super darn as well as fired with a shame. And these things do have an effect on the clouds. You know, that's an obvious, isn't it? Would you say that's obvious? You know, this is also obvious. So we go back down here to Brisbane. Brisbane in the membrane. You'll see these lines here. Right, let me zoom in just a hair more. Where's Lowwood's here? Okay, zoom back. Now we're going to pick up the lines that I just showed you that were on the radar, and you're going to see them here. This one I won't do just yet. Is technical. See, going out to sea. See that there? Do I need to do them all? Right? Even a scalar square has been created, which also adds viscosity, thickness, or in other words, and we know that the low it had fired, and it was here. We're picking up a fan like that now, so it's doing a different signature now, and it went all the way out to sea, all the way up here. You ain't making this up. You ain't making it up. It's like you act like you're crazy for noticing things. Nah, it ain't crazy to see the weather modification of that device there. And it is that one. And that device there is that one. And it was all shown on the radar. You know, that's a checkmate. That's proven stuff. That's correlating, getting curious and looking. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is how science is done. That's the kind of science that you trust. Not a sales pitch science from a snake oil salesman like Clint Eastwood would spit on his shirt and say, how's it on stage? And then try to find the rest of this and roll through some of your weather forecasts. Now, I've gone through some of the weather modifications. And you got a lot of cam today. And you got this one up here as well, and it's frying away. It was a long reach. Yeah, long reach has a long reach. And it was bzzz, bzzz, getting fried, Australia style, just for you. Here it is in the sky, the frying skies. You can't hide these frying skies. Do-do-do. I gotta stop. I don't want to violate any copyrights. Do I need to mark that out yet? Are you ready? Have you identified how to do this yet? You know, can you comprehend? Does this compute? Here's long reach here. Right? Here's the radar station. And just pick up that plasmoid line right there. Right? Just pick it up. Just pick up that line going all the way up through here. All the way up through there. Excuse me a minute. You zoom in and out too much, I'll make myself dizzy. Look at that bomb that went off there. Wait, was that a soccer ball in the sky up there? Nah. It's part of the ingredients for a geostorm. Ooh, like Boogeyman from Mars Attacks, or Pink Floyd Imagineering on this. Because there's too many flows here to be natural like that one. Left turn, Clyde. Or where they're going this way, right turn, Clyde. Mother Earth gets punched right in a kisser. These are Clyde skies. Look at that. Look at the difference in the ice refractive properties of this here. There's different chemicals in that ice. Please be on. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so I'm going to roll back a minute here. I just wanted to see the geoengineering for a second because I want to check something. So you can see it's going on. If you went in denial like that, then go ahead and tell me how war is a good thing and you're loving the peace process, you know. Yeah, just tell me more, tell me more. There goes our stimmy check. Boom! Alright, so I need this one. And I need this one. Yeah. You have to know which one. So I have to roll this in two pieces. I mean, here's what's about to occur. No, that ain't good enough. Okay, you get your access. It ain't quite accurate enough. It's not showing heavy enough totals around here. Right? When I go to the how much you're going to get, it ain't little. I think these totals are going to be quite a bit higher than it's saying. But when we had this happen, right? And here's what could hold things down was when that scalar square that I picked up just now. I hadn't noticed that before. You know, this always affects my weather, right? So we have a scalar square. Let's go to a different color. We got a scalar square. Right? We got an out, out, out. We have it over, over, over. So as this stuff comes in, it hits this field of stuff. And this one was actually quite strong because the V from out at sea that we seen came in like that. So that means there's no radar signal going to that. So it's going to have a different convection. It stays cooler. And so the hot will rush in towards it like that from the outside of the beam swath where the radar signature is actually the energy for a bounce back of a molecule. Like it sends it out and comes back to the receiver, out, back, out, back. And as it different times of how it comes back, an algorithm has figured out what's in the cloud. Is it rain, snow, sleet, hail, soda pop? I don't know. Fairy dose vitamins. So we've had a lot of bold claims about shit. All I know is how that stuff's going to react. It's really going to put some really, really nasty swath of totals through a pit through here, right in here. So we're going to have a good peek at that. And then I'll tell you what I say is going to happen, because this is not accurate. No. I've actually got a little better data than it. Because whenever they do that to me, I have to do this. Say, nah, I think I saw something different, my friends. I might see different. But there's a big path up here is about to get the Fubario treatment. So, you know, over there at Mystery Crater, you might want to cover up some stuff out there. You're going to better have a really bad time. If you ain't never checked out Mystery Crater, you got to go there. It's cool. You can see those insectoids I show you in my Imaginarium. You can see them in the fossils there in the iron oxide. Yeah, I offered an alternative, full retard explanation, which is just as scientific as everybody else's. You know, the wild-ass guessing method. It's just got many peaks. Yeah, there's a big, big area through here, just like I was expecting. And it's going to go a little further north. But we'll have another look at the cloud line. As the geoengineering changes every second, you know, at the will of the radar. So let's run through this for you. And these are some terrible totals showing up inside these storm cells. You might get lucky and those storm cells over your area. So you'll go on the radar and look where you live and do a determinant for yourself. And only you can be responsible for yourself. I'm damn if I'm going to. Ooh, Rainbow Beach. You don't want to be down there. It's going to be a lightning show. It's going to be a bit dangerous. Yep. Harvey Bay, and get a bucket down there. I mean, the dolphins show up, wear some sunglasses, and you better have an umbrella. If you don't love dolphins, I have one question to ask you. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't love the whales? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't love yourself? What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm in a mood today. My Tourette's is full on. I almost can't go anywhere because the stuff that'll come out of my mouth can get me killed. I had to move this a little further north because it's not really showing what's going to hit along the Capricorn coast well enough. So let's re-roll that. Yeah, Tucker dust gonna get a bit wet. You can keep it covered up. You know, probably a link to that stuff, Jenny, so people could be are as curious about it can solve that curiosity. Yeah, that's it. Not people that are as curious. I'm no longer curious. Somebody just rolled big dice on my game. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to quit some things. I'm trying to open up the live so I can do a double check on comments. I might be able to answer a question now rather than during my me lectures. Somebody says hopefully the rebuilt house won't flood again. Well, let's hope that as well. Open up the live so okay, yeah, I hear myself. That's a good sign. You see these tendrils of water that came over that lasted about 4 hours? They were packing a wallop, man. They would, oh, God. Usually that waits about 2 centimeters an hour. So let's see, how long did that take to pass? How much did they say? How long are they going to leave it there? What's the weather plan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, my God, you get a bucket. You get a bucket, man. Some of these will be 10. Look at that. That's a 3 hours total. A 3 hour total. Oh, switch to inches. Let's just throw Higgins up in his paid weather forecast, which he'll now have an update for it because he knows what to say. Ooh, my God, that's an inch an hour. That's 3 centimeters plus an hour. Come on. I'm trying to change the value it has. How do you do that? There we go. Ooh, did you see that? Yeah, 3 centimeters an hour. About 7 hours. It's going to be over 200 mils of water coming along the coastline here, between just south of Rocky here, where the river comes in, and through Gladstone. Definitely Gladstone. The water's going to be running down that big hill where their next rad station is, because they got a radar there too. Yeah, they got a radar there. I hadn't even checked to see if it was on, but I'm talking about this one. Ooh, they're touching our tra-la-las, man. Our ding-ding-dong. I'm talking about this one near the park. It's up on the hill. Radar on the hill. Bzz, bzz, bzz. The Friday to freaking Gladstone. Yep. And I loaded my map ahead of time and made sure it worked this time, because that's how we're supposed to roll. I got an extra screen open. They're probably tying up some shit. Right, so back over here, that's a big tendril coming that's scheduled to go over the top of you, and the bigger one's behind it. Right, there's a big difference, and that's these here that are brewed up right out here now. That's why there's 2 of them. So let's have a look at some of the how they made these. No other way to put it. You see the V's? There's a radar about here. Let's see if we can catch one. That's pretty. No, that's a curve of a cloud. You see the? It's got a sine wave form to that one actually. So let's have a look. See what we can see. This could be an extended forecast today. Actually, I don't know if my head's going to take it. Wow, look at the V. Look at the square to this here, over here to the west of Maura. Look at the Nazified shape. This one's going to go tornadic. That's absolutely the signature I dread. So I'm about to have a squig on this one. Squiggy Dave, Squiggy Dave. The truth is going to come in down. You see this form here? It's all been done with bombs. Dot, 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 dot. I don't like the color. It's too alarming. Let's just cool that down. Trying to calm people down. I just want to educate you about geoengineering. You see the shape here? Something came from the center here, went out like that, because the plume here is fatter and longer than that one there. Right? Would you agree to that? See what I'm talking about? I'm going to take some of the depth stuff. See what I'm talking about? So something's come from here and went like that. Autonomously controlled stuff. Something's on here and going like that. Now, anything wind or anything coming that direction will make that cloud begin to spin that direction. Anything coming this way will spin that. The basic pinwheel begins to form. And as this spins like this, right, over a static surface like that, and the cloud layer under have a lot of static, it's going to generate a shitload of electricity. As the cloud moves this way, the tail end tends to drag its electrics towards the ground, and I am really worried about tornadic activity from this storm. Tornadoes, downdrafts, hailstones, damaging winds, and flash floods. Absolutely going to happen with this. Now, what the also thing I've noticed that they've done is, let me zoom this out just to see here, is this. Right, and you're just doing it now to the second tendril behind you. Your second batch is this one, right? That's the one that's going to really give Gladstone a not so glad evening, if you will. So what they've done is, you've got a storm here on the high atmosphere. That's this one, right? Underneath that was another one, and it went in a V like this. So all its moisture is coming like this. That's this one right there, all right? They're running into this one here has a V that's coming towards it like that, right? That's this here as well. You see a plasmoid like this. I might have to run different I'll do like this. I'm not happy with my visual on this. That is different. And I'm just going to use a highlighter. And the conicity on this is small. So all the moisture in this song thing here is like this. And it's being rippled like that. You can see it going on pretty easy. It's easier to clear it like that. When she say, don't be so blind that you never seek science of your own. I gotta say that. So here's those ripples. Here, 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 here. Now, I'm talking about in the center there. The cone is here. So all that is now being forced over the top of a cloud mass. So we have a cloud mass, another cloud mass being forced over the top of it, and this one's rippled like that. Every one of these rippled now punches the cloud underneath it and will cause very, very heavy rainfall. And so this batch here is a bucket, an absolute bucket, and it looks pretty wide. It looks to be about, when it forms itself, it's going to be about that wide. 31 miles its very center is, and the influence itself is going to be about from here to here. When they finish stacking it, you're looking about 59 miles of slow-moving storm, and if the storm is moving at 12 miles an hour, do the math, right? That's quite a few hours of it being over the top of you, dumping down terrible totals of 3. It's 3 centimeters an hour, or an inch an hour, is what it had said. And that makes sense, because Mimic told me that much water's here. Look at you how the shape of that. It's not perfectly round. It's like a marshmallow. There's another scalar square here over the top of that. Another cell being created. And the same thing's going to happen with that. With the vibrations that create these interference patterns, vibrate the top of the clouds and punch the condensates together. Yep. There's some big flow boundaries been set up right here and here. See it? See it? Another big radar right there. That's this one. And that's boom boom taroom, isn't it? That's this one. Or is it Mount Asa? I can't remember. It's over in Richmond. Richmond radar. Richmond radar. Blaster. There it is again. Same kind of device, man. Same kind of device at the epicenter of all these flow boundaries. Don't you tell me they ain't playing with the weather. Don't you tell me that your prime mismanagers can't stop what's going on. Don't tell me that. Because you insult your own intelligence, and I'll lose respect for you. You don't tell me that. You damn sure ain't going to convince me. Alright, so let's continue to show you the fuckery that's going to unfold. And there's not much more just zooming in and out my hand's going to let me do. Should have took a tablet. You heard sat view is much better. Well, if you're living in Australia, it's okay, but it takes a longer time to load. They do hide imagery just like you doing, because I'm not in Australia. It doesn't always load well for me. So I switched to this one because they was hiding data. Yeah, I busted them. Well, the Bureau of Morons thinks we're fools, you know, with their excuses. But yeah, I hope they let you know that. Why are you even looking at Australian weather if you're American? Corey Evans, why would that matter? Do you care about your own country? Why do Australians have opinions about Donald Trump? Because I studied EMF. There was a last name, I'll answer you seriously. There was a group called Plain Diary. A person named Kate Bearsley, I saw her posting pictures of radar rings and Zeppelins, little blast rings and stuff that were known as Dutch's rings at the time. The Dutch sensors showing stuff like that. And it was so obvious. I started looking at satellite images and seeing that the anomalies were matching up to clouds. And so it was so obvious you're geoengineering, and I started studying. And he says I was working weird hours. It was the perfect time of day to do that. And so I challenged myself in my understanding. I did some forecasts. And this isn't the only thing I do. At that time, I was a mechanic. I was working Scunthorpe lawnmowers, machining blades, working on the green cutters and the stuff that you would use on football pitches, and farm equipment, that kind of stuff. I'm definitely new to this. Dude, I think it's time for you to go. And I'm going to have to take a moment here. But lucky for you, I got a phone in my hand, so you're about to get going. All right. That troll's gone. Goodbye. Next. Yeah, I got a phone in my hand. I can do this. So this is still rolling along as the storms move north. I'm not going to cover much more than that. Hello, New Zealand. Can I wait till tomorrow to do yours? Right. You should enjoy the good days you have when you have them. And so enjoy what you have while you have it. So I'm pretty much going to be ending this soon. Like I said, my hand is hurting. And gosh, look at the poisoning of my waters. This is a Great Barrier Reef, man. They'd be blaming us for all this bleaches and lies like that when really sulfuric acid precursors deployed in your sky could possibly be acid raining and change the content and dissolving coral. Is it possible coral is being killed by that? Who knows? All I know is geoengineering kills, and there's going to be some wicked totals over the next 24 hours. So I'm expecting those totals I told you as I went along. And if you can't listen to those totals that I said and feel you need to ask me, then tune into the next show that I do and tell me your town's name, and I'll be so happy to show you that. Here's what Wendy says. And I'm going to disagree with a lot of these things, but I'm not going to disagree with Agnes here. Because I said 21. So that's about right. Yep. You poor folks. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and if you don't watch out for yourself, nobody else will. Peace out.